What is going on YouTube? Well, today, I hope we are all good. I'm just making sure that I've got all of the bits that I need working on the PC end of things. So let me just post. Post that and pin message. There we go. Right, let's add a goal because we didn't do that before. I guess that's a good place to start. Right, looks like we've got that set up. There's nobody in the stream just yet, so that's absolutely fantastic. It looks like everything is working nice and well. The mic looks really quiet. I wonder. So does that mean that the mic's coming over? I'm just looking to see if the mic is picking me up over here. Is it picking me up over here? Is it picking me up over here? Ooh, what's going on there? Welcome to the stream. I'm just seeing what's going on with the mic. Maybe somebody in the stream could let me know how it's going, because at the moment, I'm not sure. Let's get it open on my phone so I can monitor it. How you doing? I'm here. New camera angle. Let's have some coffee. Yeah, new camera angle. What are you saying? How's that looking? Right. Is the best way to go to it in my studio. At last, I've reached the 2,000 mark. Wow. What's happening, brother? Bronco waterproofing. How's your broken foot? What? What? Broken foot? Am I being dumb? Right, where's my live? There we go. Right, I'm just gonna walk over here just to see if the mic's working right. Oh, that's not annoying. Right, let's turn that down. Looks like the mic's working okay. Someone just sent me a comment about a broken foot. So confused. Anyway, right, so I kind of want to pop out chat, and I haven't got one, so I'm going to have to live with not having one, I guess. Where am I going to put this where I'm not going to get brass in my charge port? Well, that seems to be working. So first things first, we are going to make a 77mm eye-to-eye one of these. For my UTB18 that you can just see in the shot there, So let's go and select a piece of brass. I don't want the big heavy stuff for this. So I'm using the heavy drag link, but the tie rod I make a bit smaller. So it's 77 millimeters eye to eye. I want a tiny little bit of toe out in the rear so that the rear toes out like the front does. So I'm going to go 76 mil eye to eye, and my rod ends are from the place where they meet this to the center. They are 17 mil. Let me just confirm that. I'm not sure. I've got a couple of different sets of rod ends kicking around. Yeah, they're 17 mil. So we need to take 34 millimeters from 76. So that's going to be 42. So, oh, we was on 42 there. Need a new battery in this guy. Can you see that, chaps? If I do that. Right, what did I say? 42. 42 and 34 is 76. So let's take this down to 42. Man, my wrist hurts. That's going to be close enough. 42.2. So we're going to use a measuring trick that we learned from Crawl Stock RC. Occasionally, people like Crawl Stock RC might pop in the chat, and they are much more knowledgeable lathers than I am. If anybody's out there, it looks like there might be somebody out there in YouTube land. Please just let me know the audio's all right. Say hi so I can tell if my chat's working, because sometimes my chat doesn't work. I think someone was out there in YouTube streaming Chatland for ages in a previous stream, and it must have just come across like I was completely ignoring them, because for ages I wasn't responding to comments, and then I refreshed my chat and there was a whole conversation being had without me. So, I mean, now I know I can hopefully game that a little bit better. We are going to be making a set of links today. We're going to be making 2 heavy sets out of this 8mm, and we're going to be making a standard set out of the 7mm, which I think might actually be my preferred girth diameter. Is that the word I'm looking for? Right, we want to take the tail stock out. Let's get rid of that. So we're just going to feed the link through, tighten up a fraction. We want 42, and that is going to be 42. So one of the things that I learned from Crawl Stock the other day was to use the internal measuring component for measuring distances like this in the lathe up against the parting tool, which is what we've just zipped into there. Let me just make sure. Yeah, I haven't tightened it down. So what are you up to today? It's just another day in the workshop for me. I've got a few sets of links to make. I've had quite a few orders for the TRX4 links. If anybody wants to pick up a set of cheap TRX4 links, I've got an old prototyping set that have obviously, they've been beat on, but I've put all new rod ends and hollow balls in them, and there they are. They're absolutely ready to go. And usually this set is 45 quid. You can have those for 20 plus postage. So if anybody's in the market, I've done it again. Right, deliberate mistake, not, but it was a mistake, and we're going to fix that. I want to be cutting as close to the head stock as possible. So that one's on me, guys. So we'll have to just remeasure, but we've got this locked in at 42.18 millimeters, which is 42. That's close enough. There we go. Remembering that we are reducing the length. We're reducing the length because I want to create a little bit of toe out on the back. So I want my front ever so slightly toed out and my rear ever so slightly toed out, because that helps to increase like the Ackerman effect on the steering. So as you go this way, this one will be further out than it would have been, as opposed to if you had them parallel. If you can imagine they're slightly out, when you do this, this is always slightly further out. And that's just how I like it. Right, let's lock the brass in position properly. Let's get this. I like to just give that a little extra tweak down, because if it moves, we end up with witness marks on the part, and then I'll spend ages polishing those out. I think we're all switched on and ready to go. The head is safe. We do not need the tail stock in, but we're going to put it in actually, because we are going to use the other trick we learned, which is using this to measure the next one, which is something else I learned from Wayne. So we're just going to put that. We're not trying to tap the end of this, but that's a perfectly adequate tool to just tap on there. So once we've parted this off, we could potentially make another one of these. I'm only making one, aren't I? Oh no, I need one. I need one in this heavier stuff as well. So maybe we will leave it in there. Right, everything is where it needs to be. Hopefully we're not too close. I'm just going to get my engineering glasses on, chaps. I was wearing my editing glasses, and we don't zoom in. There we go. They aren't as zoomed in as these guys. So Wayne was saying it's a rite of passage running your tool holder into the rotating headstock, but I'm going to try not to do that, because that would not be good. Just resetting chat in case I'm missing anything. We're working on a setup that is both aesthetically pleasing and easy for me to work around. At the moment, I keep bumping the shoulder into the data cable. What's the image coming up like, guys? Is it all right? Yeah, it looks all right. Looks like we're focused on the lathe. This is better. So I was using my DJI Action 4 previously for this job, and it's just not as good. The sensor's not as good. It doesn't really focus. They just have a really super wide angle lens on that kind of focuses from relatively close up to infinity, and well, that makes it a lot easier for people. that aren't used to cameras, it just doesn't give you that. It's like one size fits all. It's never going to be great. There we go. Blimey, we were really close to the head there. Right. Let's get this out. So we want 70, the original link for the rear. Now, Axial are giving us a generic part. So their front and rear link are the same length, but when this is on the front, it gives us a tiny little bit of toe out, which I'm okay with. But then when you put it on the back, because the angle of the axle, the direction of the axial's flipped, it creates toe in at the rear, and I don't want that. So I get it, like they don't want to have to make a separate link up for the rear, because that is dipping into the funds that they can spend at the local ladyboy shop or whatever. But I just yeah, it's not optimal really for me to leave it that way, so I don't. This is going to have exactly the kind of steering I want it to have. It's going to work a treat. Let's pinch that up so that it doesn't move in there. We are going to take out the parting tool for now. We're going to need it back in at some point, but we're going to take that out. Let's have a slurp of coffee. Need me coffee today, guys, in case you didn't. I probably sound a little bit knackered. If that's the case, I am. I'm really knackered. Cheers. Oh. Apologies for the slurping noises. Right. We're going to put in a 6mm angled bit, and we can face with this. It's not the ideal facing tool to give us a clean face, but it is ideal for giving us a tiny little chamfer, which is what we're going to be doing. We're just going to it just takes the rough edge off these. I want all of my parts, and this is for me, but even if it was for a customer, I want all of my parts to have a nice finish on them, so people aren't picking them up and they've got rough edges and all that, because well, I just wouldn't want that myself, especially if I've paid like premium money for stuff. I'm just waiting on the jewellery boxes to turn up and decals to arrive for Chonky Links, and then we'll be fully set up to send out when people get a set of Chonky Links. They're going to come in this beautiful black box with gold Chonky Link on the top, and when they open it, it's a nice, really nice quality box. It's going to go, and then in there with little push pins is going to be the links. It's just going to look spectacular, and you'll know you're getting a quality piece of kit as soon as you open the box. Right, so let's not take, I actually just want to throw it on the caliper before we go too mad. Let's just confirm that we've got, sorry, the coffee's repeating on me. There we go. We set it at 41.8, didn't we? And we're just a fraction under that. That's perfect. I must have had the tool ever so slightly off, but we were aiming for 42. That little bit of extra on there is just like a safety margin, I suppose you call it that. Right, now we've got that in there. Actually, we're going to pinch this up nice and tight because I don't want to spend 10 minutes polishing out witness marks where it's slipped. Might have to invest in another drawer. I mean, another jaw. I am going to be upgrading the lathe at some point. Just checking chat. If someone would say hello in the chat, that'd be fantastic. I'm keep refreshing the chat because the other day people had said hello and I hadn't seen it. Very embarrassing situation. Right, so next up we're going to grab the centre bit, which we've got over here. That's the centre bit. So this is a high-speed steel centre bit. We are just going to make a little dent in both ends of the part. Somewhere nice for the drill bit to start in. So I just go down until it meets the angle, and it just means that there's a nice entrance to the thread. There we go. We'll take it out and we'll flip it round. Get that out of the way. Nice, no witness marks on the part. It's probably not good for me cranking it down like I do using the chuck key, but I just I'm fed up with having to spend ages, because what I want these parts to look amazing when people get them. I end up having to polish out witness marks that can add sort of half hour on a set of links at least, especially if it's on more than one part. And a full set, especially for the UTB18 or any four-wheel steer rig that I'm making parts for, that can significantly increase the amount of time it takes to make a full set. Hello out in chat. If you've just joined us, please say hello. That'd be great. Nobody's said hello yet, so I'm not quite sure if chat's working. What we're doing steering links into, so these are what we're using. I use a steel ball and one of these black ones, which is like a black anodized aluminium, which is these are the stock axial ones. This one goes between the clevis, is that what they call it? Anyway, the double shear part of it, that goes in and that goes on the outside. And these take a 4 mil. So I was just getting ready to start using 3 mils, but that's not what we want. So we want a 3.5, which I think is this one. Yeah, we're going to use a 3.5. Finding somewhere to put this stuff down. What was I saying? Yeah, we're going to use a 3.5 millimeter bit. I've got a load of little bits of chocolate. My missus bought some of that Dubai chocolate bar stuff, and I'm doing my best not to eat it, but it's sat on a countertop next to me, and I'm like, oh, especially as I've just had some coffee. Oh, did we not do that up? No, we didn't. Chatting away, not doing my job here. A little bit of oil on it. If you've just joined us, please say hello in the chat, because I'm not 100% sure my chat's working. Let me just give it a quick refresh. It's saying that there's 3 people watching. I'm always paranoid that someone's asked a question and I haven't answered it. And I'm like, no, sorry, dude. It happened the other day, but fortunately the chat is a friend and was also messaging me on a like direct message. So yeah, I was able to rectify it by refreshing the stream. Well, not the stream, but the chat. Boop. Right, let's get the other end done. We flip that round, and then we'll switch over to the 4mm tap, and we'll tap this part. I like Crawler Canyon's got a sticker that says I tap that. I think that's brilliant. That superb. Yeah. I guess none of my regular viewers are about today because nobody's saying hello. All alone. It's all good. It's all good. Making this stuff I'm alone anyway, so really when I'm doing this, it's no different to if I was just in here making this stuff on my own anyway. It is nice though when people pop up in the stream and they'll join you for a little while. Maybe they're working on a rig and just looking for someone to have a natter with or to listen to or whatever. Or somebody's having a poo and just doesn't want to be alone while they're doing it. I know it's gross, but I quite often will watch stuff while I'm in the toilet. Check emails and all that. I'm probably not the only one, right? Right, a little bit deeper, she said. Nice. Right. That has given us a nice start. Right, let's take that. Right, that's the 3.5. Now we're going to go in with a 4mm titanium nitride. I've had really good luck. Do you know what? When I'm doing these link videos, I should have links to these because I've had really good luck with these. They have been superb reliable. And I guess I should be touching wood while I do this. Yeah, they've been really reliable. I've not broken one of these yet, so right, there's no way that should have spun yet. So I'm guessing we didn't pinch it up tight. I'd rather be too loose than too tight on that part. We are going to pinch the item down as well because we're trying our best not to put witness marks on the outside of the part. Right, let's crank this down a little bit tighter. So we're just going to do this one by hand rather than risk buggering it up. Once it's slipping like that, you might as well just tighten up. And when I'm doing it by hand, I'm just rolling across the top of the chuck like this. When you're doing it by hand like this, you can really feel when it meets. There we go. That is at the end, at the bottom of the hole. You can really feel the tip of the die contacting the end of the hole. Whereas when you're doing it like with the machine, you're just relying on this spinning as it hits, you know, just stopping and spinning. Otherwise, you either strip the thread out or you snap your die, which is your tap, not your die. Yeah, you snap your tap, which is suboptimal, isn't it? It's That'd be a right pain in the arse. Do you know, I feel like I should have a bit of music going in here, but I'm not sure what the YouTube policies are for people streaming with a bit of music on. Yeah, I don't want to mess things up. It's taken me so long to get monetized on YouTube and everything. It would be a real shame. Right, that's close enough. We'll do the last bit by hand. Yeah, it'd be a real shame to get like demonetized or kicked out of the creator program after all the years of work it's taken me to get to 2,000 subscribers. Thank you for subscribing, by the way, chaps. Yeah, thank you. At one point it really did seem like I was never gonna get 1,000 subscribers, and now of course we've got 2,000, which is fantastic. So pleased to finally be over the 2,000 mark. Like, it took a long time to get to 1,000, but then getting that next 1,000, it seems to have taken even longer. And I don't think it was longer. I think it was about the same time or slightly less. But I think, I don't know, living on expectation, I was kind of expecting the next 1,000 to be easier. But it wasn't. But I think that's largely down to the fact that I wasn't reviewing new vehicles. Like, in that first period, I spent quite a lot of money buying vehicles to review. And if you've got the latest thing, that really helps for definite. Right, we're going to be using an M4 set screw. So let's get the lid off for them. Get me Ugga Dugga over. Want 2 of these. So these are M4 carbon set screws. I'm going to be streaming later, guys. If after this stream, later on this evening, I will be. Is this the long one or the short one? I'm thinking this is the short one, isn't it? So we want. So this one has the 7.5mm original hollow balls. So I was putting that in the wrong bit. Yeah, if anybody's interested, I'm working on the Hulk build later. I've got to get the shocks done. My buddy Lee has really kindly, I'm so grateful, Lee, has done the decals for the Hulk build. And yeah, that is going to be getting some work done on it. I'm also swapping wheels out on Spidey. Spidey's getting a set of, not permanent, but Spidey's getting a set of Sedonas to play with. Of course, that won't fit. That's nearly 4mm. Yeah. There we go. Let's turn that down. That was on 8. Not good. Yeah, so we're going to be switching Spidey over to Sedonas later. And that is going to be really interesting for me. I think this is 6mm bar. Do you know what? If I'd have thought about it, yeah, this is 6mm. So, happy accident. I was meant to be using 7mm bar because it perfectly matches these, but for the steering links, it doesn't matter. And as this is going in the back, replacing a super lightweight plastic link, I'm actually glad that we've had the little happy accident there. I think that might be optimal. So the 8mm, the big 8mm chonkies up the front, or 7mm chonkies up the front, and a 6mm brass at the back, just to help you maintain that forward to rear bias. I think that might be the optimal way to do it. Right, another M4 set screw. I buy these off of AliExpress. Do you know what? Again, I haven't linked to them. What I'll do, I'm going to be making a lot of links. So I think what I'll do is I'll create a document on the PC that I can just copy paste, just in case anybody wants to. Because if you're going to make your own links, having these bits that somebody else has, that I've worked my way through some crap, guys. Like, I've really worked my way through some crap, and these are the good ones. These are the ones that made the cut. Right, and that needs to be exact card. I'll tell you what, that couldn't have stopped in a better position. Right, perfect. So I've used the wrong. Instead of going 7mm. So this is why you tune in to lives. That is supposed to be that long. What the? What? 34mm plus. What the? The coffee hadn't kicked in. That is my excuse. Right, what was this? Oh, I said it was 77 and it was 107. Of course they are. And I wanted to go down to 106. What is this? I'm gonna be able to use this. So it's not like, this will probably be the perfect link for a drag link on something. 2 sets, guys. I think my mic works. Oh my goodness, yeah. It's absolutely, I can't bring it into shot, but that is absolutely the length that I need for Spidey. So that will fit a number of vehicles. So there we go. We've got a pre-made. I'm a little bit disappointed, but it is what it is. So I guess now we've ballsed up on a massive scale there, we might as well, I'm just over in me brass bin. Let's have a look. Have we got any 7mm? I wasn't kidding. I'm absolutely fine. I think this is 6mm as well. It is. I'm just going to make it with 6mm. Because I don't really want to throw a load of weight at the back of this. This will be adding a significant amount of weight. 107 minus 34 is 73, right? But I'm going to go 72. And before I do anything, I'm going to confirm that my brain, I haven't been sleeping well. I've got rheumatoid arthritis, guys, and when I get an inflammation flare-up, I can't believe. Like, when you're making a video, nobody sees that, but when you're doing it live, I can't believe it. I literally made that 30mm too short. Well, how did I get from? Who knows? Right. So I guess we get to do it all again. Why isn't it passing through? There we go. So everybody gets to see me measure everything again. We take the tail stock off. We knock the ruler off. We've set this to 72. So 72 and 34. Is it? Yeah, it's 106. Sorry, my brain faded quite well there. So this is 1mm shorter, and I guess I'm going to have to explain Why, that's the thing. Oh, we've got to take the epoxy tool post out. Shoot me. Put me out of my misery. Right, yeah, we're nicking 1 millimetre off of the length, because what Axial do, sorry if you've already seen this part of the video, Axial make the same length for the front and back. So on the front, a little bit of toe out from this is great, but then when you flip it to the rear, it creates toe in, which in my record, I mean, like, let's have a discussion about that if you feel like you've got an opposing thought on that. For me, I think that's suboptimal. I like having a little bit of toe out on my link setup, my steering setups, front and rear. For like, if it's a drag axle, I'll go with whatever you get out of the box. But on a rear steer, I want a tiny little bit of toe out. So this 1 mil increment change probably isn't going to give me toe out, but it should at least neutralise their use of a part that was designed for the front of the vehicle. And I'm not sure if it was an accountant walked into the engineer's office. Sounds like a joke, doesn't it? An accountant walked into an engineer's office and said, I know you want to change these, but you're not going to, because otherwise we're going to have to tool for another part, and that's going to exponentially inflate the cost and reduce the amount of profit Axial can make. So, like, I'll get it. I'll get what they can't. Right, I haven't pinched that up, have I? No, good. Right, let's not do it again. Let's make 72 millimeters. Loosen her off a fraction. Right, so am I getting my maths right this time, guys? 72 mil plus 34 mil for the link eye to the rod end base. 34, and let's just make sure chat's working. Nobody's commenting, that's fine. Yeah, 72 and 34 is 106, isn't it? Like, normally I wouldn't even be asking because my maths brain is pretty good, but due to a lack of sleep, right, the head is safe. Oh, I got so lucky having that mistakenly made part fit drag link on a mere skull brush. That was really lucky. Right, so if we was making multiple parts, we would slide that long and lock it down so that we have a repeatable distance. So the measurement between the tailstock and the end of the part, or from the tip of the, I'm using a tap, aren't I? Would be repeatable. So we would just take this part out, slide it along, and then cut off the next piece. But we're not. So let's just make sure the headstock is safe. We're not going to run this into there. So this is a parting tool, guys. We're just we're parting off. So it's just another way of snipping this rather than using a hacksaw, which is like knocking a pin in with a sledgehammer. This is a much more accurate way of cutting this to the right length, and usually using this method we don't need to repeat. We don't need to repeat the process or refine the process. Usually, right, we'd set it to 72.02 millimeters, and we've actually ended up with 72.09. And you just need to be close. With links, as long as you're within a ½ millimetre, I'd say, you're going to be absolutely fine. So we're just going to clean the end off of that. And then we'll extract the piece that we don't need, our leftover, which is going to be enough for links for days. All right, let's go out the back of the chuck. Need to have some water, guys. We got any comments yet? Nobody's commenting, but that's fine. I guess you guys may be busy doing something yourself. Absolutely fine. Quick drink. Man, I try not to have drinks around electric, so you watch. I'll put it there so it's not near electrics and I'll still knock it over. So, yeah, what did we say it was? 72.1. So, let's put our part back in. First thing we're going to do is just put a tiny little chamfer on the edges. Not because it needs it. It's not like a functional chamfer. It's just so that the part isn't rough or sharp or what have you. So let's take the parting tool out and we'll grab that one. So this is a 6mm carbide quick change bit, after quick tip bit, is that what they're called? So we've got 2 messages. What is going on here? No, it's saying there's 3 messages. Am I missing messages in chat? Pop out chat. Let's do a pop out chat on here. And one of them should stay current, right? You'd think. Sorry guys, I just got my PC behind me. I just want to like, if you're not chatting, that's fine. That's fine. I just want to make sure I'm not missing a chat. I don't want you guys to feel pressured into talking to me just because I'm lonely. Yeah, it's all good. All right. So let's just we're just going to go a little smush on the end here. There we go. And then we're going to flip her around. Do the same on the other end, just so the part's got a nice, comfortable feel in the hand. And just a personal preference thing. Just think it gives the part a lot of quality, intentional quality feel. And this one obviously is for me. You know, when I'm making a part for myself, I'm not really focusing as much on creating a masterpiece. I just need something that's functional. Quite often it'll be for like prototyping purposes. So I just need to make the thing, see if it works. And I know the minute it leaves here, it is going to end up getting smashed into rocks and whatnot. So I'm not too bothered about it looking slightly agricultural. I guess that's a good way to put it. Yeah, I'm not too bothered about that. So we're just going to use the centering tool to give us a nice center. It's been mentioned a couple of times. So we just go in until there's a bit of an angle on the bit, until it meets that. and then that just gives the beginning of the thread a nice little, don't know what that's called. Looks like I'm pulling 80s dance moves. Big box, little box on it. Is that what I was doing? I can't believe I made the first one the wrong length. Oh my goodness. So yeah, so we just centre pointing. It means we get a nice centred. Someone was saying to me the other day they bought a set of links, and the hole that had been drilled and tapping the end of the link wasn't even centric or concentric, and yeah, bloody awful. I mean, especially if you're paying. I think it was like one of the boutique type links, like the boutique stuff like I make, and they hadn't even centered it. And I think the guy had paid good money for the part, and then when he questioned it, the seller just went quiet on him. Not good, right? Do we need to take that out? No, we don't. Trouble is when you're streaming, excuses inbound, you kind of forget what you're doing, right? So this is a 3.5. We're putting 4mm carbon steel set screws in these. These are overkill, but that's what we want. We want people to never break any of the stuff that we make. So we use a 3.5mm bit, and then we follow that with a 4mm tap. And we need to go in, we need to make sure that this is deep enough to accept that. I don't know how much I left sticking out on this one. Let's just have a little look. .3mm. So I use I've probably cooked a bit leaving it in there. I use a bit of lube before you stick your tool back in. It's polite. I use M4x16. So I try to have about 8mm of engagement-ish in both the rod end and the link. And then that gives you the best chance of not ending up with a breakage or a thread pulling out or whatever, because nobody wants that. Right, so while we've got the drill bit in, we flip it round and do the other end. Nobody's chatting today. It's all good. I don't mind being here alone. Give that a quick tap to get out as much of the shiznit as possible. Make sure we don't put it in the same way as it was already. I'll give that, I don't know whether you noticed, I'll give it just a little wiggle as I'm tightening like the first stage of the chuck or pinch up. And I'm just trying to get it centered in the drill. Like, we're not engineering here, we're not making parts for the space shuttle or for something like that. So it doesn't have to be super duper accurate. But we do want it reasonably close. Like, I want the parts to have that feel, and stuff only has to be off a fraction for people to have the perception that something's not quite right. And in my estimation, that'd be enough to ruin things. Because you can probably hear the lathe complaining a little bit there. Don't know why. but it feels like this side didn't go, it wouldn't drill as easily, and I think you get a bit of inconsistency in the brass. Like you get hard spots. That's what it feels like. It almost feels like when you're cutting through a piece of wood, if you hit a knot, it gets tough, doesn't it? It gets really tough going if you meet a knot in wood. That's what it feels like sometimes when you're drilling brass. Right, we're going to switch over to the 4mm bit, and we are going to not pinch. So when I'm doing this, what I do, I make sure the tailstock's not locked down, because we want this just to feed, and I just pinch that down in the hope that as this is going in, if it meets the end of the hole, the tap slips in the chuck this side. We don't want the part to slip, we want the tap to slip. So this is cranked down hard, and this is just nipped up, and again this is free sliding, so that when I do this, so I went all the way down to the end there, and hopefully you noticed it slipped right at the end of the drive, and then we just back out by hand, and we should have got one end of this really, really nicely tapped. Hey presto, one side of the link remade. And if you're wondering why I'm using the word remade instead of made, it's because I made the other one 30mm too short because of sleep deprivation and being an idiot on the internet, I guess. Like, if this had been a video, if somebody had been making a video about this, you'd just never have seen it, would you? Right, so we did, yeah, we did drill both ends, didn't we? Right, so we should be good. I've cranked that down this side. Slipping, we know it is because it just did. Here we go. Right, that was perfect. So I try not to go all the way until it slips. I try to stop just before, because then I'm not stressing out either the part or my tooling. And we stopped that this time absolutely perfectly in time. And just like, I know, like a 1/50th of a turn on the chuck confirmed that she was indeed at the end of her capability for being penetrated. Oh, why have you got to say it like that? My mind always comes up with a disgusting way of explaining itself. What's the matter with me? Right, so then we get, this is a bottle brush. I bought a load of little baby bottles for my little one when he was on the bottle. We're very proud of the RC mummy. She boob fed our boy Neo for like 2 years. He never drank that formula crap, not once. Right, let's take them out and make the lathe safe for a sec. This should be absolutely spot on now. And all of the bottles came with 2 of these. And like, as long as you keep this clean, they last forever. So we had a load of them left over. And when I started doing this, I was like, oh, I could do with a little bottle brush. These are perfect for it, absolutely perfect. Go in there, give it a quick twiddle, cleanse the thread. Bob's your uncle. He was my uncle, actually, but he's dead now. there you go. That is a 6mm UTB18 rear that we've actually made the right length this time. And if we put them up together, I've taken 1mm off because I wanted to increase the toe out. Is 1mm too much? I guess we're going to find out. So I am going to refit this back to Yeti. The Yeti. And we'll see. Just turn the clutch right down on this. There we go, because we do not want to strip that out. So what I was trying to do, guys, I don't know what I'm shouting because I'm not next to the camera, but I've got a lavalier mic on, sorry for shouting. What we're trying to do is, sorry if you can't see from where the camera is to introduce a tiny bit of toe out on the rear. And there, because they're just repurposing a front link, you end up with toe in if you use the standard rears. And I would say that was suboptimal, but again, that is up for discussion. There we go. Yep, exactly. Now I've got to be honest, this is the first one that I've done where I was just remaking the links, but after I'd sat and thought about it for a little while, I was like, no, I don't want to be remaking them the way they've done it, because then I spotted their mistake. So if you can see, we've got the super chunks on the front, and on the rear we've got a super chunk upper, but we've got a 6mm lower because we don't want to ruin the weight bias. The weight bias on this was absolutely perfect, and we are running 6mm lowers. These aren't 6mm lowers, these are the early ones. Yeah, so these are 5mm lowers, and we're moving up to 6mm. We've already done a few sets, and the people that have bought them have been really, really pleased. So as you can see, they're nice and free. Lovely. Joe, bubbly. Right, I'm pleased with that. That's a good start. So now all we've got to do is we're going to turn this piece into a 77mm, because this is a front that I'm making for someone. Right, and we're 88.2. This one isn't going to be as easy. We're going to have to fanny around with this one a little bit. 88.28. So we want to go down 11mm. I'm going to go down like 10.5 to begin with. And then we'll nibble it down until it's absolutely perfect. So we need to take, what did I say, 11mm, but we're going to take 10, aren't we? Right, so let's switch the bit out. Where's me? There it is. Surprised nobody's chatting today. The internet's not in the mood for chatting. Or my chat's not working. I suppose that's possible. Right, put the parting bit in. We're working with some heavy duty brass this time. This 8mm stuff is not messing, let me tell you. Right, let's get that right up against there. Let's bring this in as close as we can safely. Where's my boys at? Where's my peeps? Is anybody watching Squid Game? So we're gonna have to do some maths here because of the way I'm cutting. let's measure the width of that. So that's 2.6. So let's just call that, no, let's call it 2.6. So how much? 12. So I need to add 2.6 and I want to take 10. So we're just gonna shift this down 7 mil. Do I crank that up? Can't measure it, mate. What are you doing? Can't measure it. I'll crank that down there. Right, so 2.6 plus 7.4 is 10. Oh, we've only gone and got it. Oh, it moved 0.01 when I did the thing. Oh, fluff. Right, pull you out. Right, that'll give us a good start. So this is where I wish Wayne was here and he could guide me on the best way to do what I've just done. I think we're pretty good there. So basically what I'm trying to do is take off 10 mil with the parting tool. Let's get this to 10 mil. It's the trouble when you're using like offcuts. You don't have quite as much material to play with. Yeah, that's going to be close. I'd rather it was slightly too long still. So let's get a little drop on there. The head is safe. Let's get this cut made. So these are going to be super, super chunky. So we will be putting slightly more chamfer. Is everything lit all right, guys? You can see everything, can I? Just can't really see. Shame. I need to work on an angle for this actually, where you can see the tool working on the lathe. I think that'll make this slightly more interesting as opposed to just watching a bench and listening to an old fart talking. We're making good chips. So it looks like this doesn't need sharpening yet, which is good. It also means when I bought this off of Wayne, he gave me a nice sharp tool. So that's always good. Got to get yourself a lathe, guys, if you haven't got one. Like for the RC stuff. Like I make these up. These little exhaust stacks, and it's got like a little relief on it. Let's take that off there for a sec. Yeah, I make these. They've got like the little relief, so it fits perfectly in there. Little exhaust stack for anybody that's got like screw down M3 screw down body attaching doohickeys. They're nice. So just 15 quid a set. If anybody wants to buy them, doesn't want to make them themselves, but get yourself a lathe. And the joy of making a part for yourself is just like, you can't, like, you literally can't put a price. Oh, that's my bad, guys. That's because I haven't got this bolted down quite as well as it could be. We're getting a bit of flex in the bed, so I forget. Yeah, it's climbed up on it. It's because I'm rushing it. While it's making chips, you should just let it make them. Right, we're just about to part off the excess. Try not to have the lathe explode in my face. Yeah, we are getting a ton of flex. Right, that isn't perfectly parted off. I need a slightly different height shim. Let's have a little look. Hello. Yeah. So the cutting face is ever so slightly too low on this, because this tool wasn't made for a 6mm tool holder, so you end up having to shim it to try and make it fit, you know, which you can do if you've got a ton of shims, but I haven't. So we are going to put a heavy chamfer on these. So these, however, these carbide bits that I've got are, I'm going to put that in it. Let's put it right up to the tool. Yeah, these are made for it. So I don't have to do anything to line them up and to get them to behave. They just behave straight out of the box, which is nice. And these tips last really well. And instead of having to, you know, go over to a grinder and grind them flat and all that faff, I can just use a little Torx bit to take this out. So if you'll see, I know you can't, can you? So we're just nibbling off the little bit that it's left. That is not good. Right, while we're in this side, we're going to put on our chamfer. So let's do that quickly. We're basically putting on about a 2mm deep chamfer of about 45 degrees, something like that. Right. Next up, we're going to switch over to a centering bit, and let's get the 4mm hole cut for this, or drilled, I should say. Actually, let me get that. Let's be more precise. We are putting a 3.5mm hole in. Make sure I've got the 3.5, not the 3.3. Yeah, that's the 3.3. This is the 3.5. It's funny, you know, when you actually look down at them, you can see it if you give yourself a minute. It's only 0.2 of a mil. So little difference. But if you're looking for it, you can actually see it. Oh, crap. Right, just going to put the fan on, guys, because it's getting a bit warm in here. I'm assuming you can still hear me over this side of the workshop where my fan, I'm knocking everything off. Let me know if you get any noise, guys, any like annoying wind noise on the mic, won't you? If you would, that'd be great. Oh, let's just put it on low. Just need to stir a bit of air around because I'm stood near. I'm sorry, I'm just picking up the stuff on up top. Because I'm stood right next to the what's it? Where did that go? That'd stop the strain, wouldn't it? Damn it. Right. You probably can't see me, but I'm crawling around on my hands and knees trying to find. Oh, there's a bit of a emery paper. Where the stuff has that gone? Oh, this must be really interesting for you guys. Nope. Oh, it came this way. How can it not be behind that? Has it gone behind me over? It didn't fall in the bag because we heard it hit the floor, didn't we? Well, I did. Oh my goodness. Whose idea was it for me to stream on the internet? There it is. It was hiding behind the Hoover, guys. So we can continue to make stuff. I think I've got a spare actually. I could have carried on. Right. Please let me know if the wind is annoying. I will suffer for my art. We weren't even putting the right bit in. We want the centering bit. This must be like watching someone with Alzheimer's make links. Shouldn't joke about that because my mum's dad had Alzheimer's in the end. Bless him. So it could be coming for me, especially with my diet. Right. Here we go. Let's pull this out of the way a little bit. That'll do. Let's refresh chat again just to make sure I'm not missing any chats. No, it doesn't look like I am. I do realise that streaming like this time of the day, I'm not optimising my chances to have people in the stream that either speak English or aren't asleep. So the people are probably asleep in the countries that might be talking to me. But that's all right. I can live with that. I can see you out there. I know there's people out there, so that's nice. I don't feel quite as alone as I would have done. Right, so let's tuck this up a little bit. We're not going to put it on the work, but we put it nice and close. And the first bit of this, we just really let the drill find its centre. And then once we're in, this makes good chips, this drill bit. We will have an extra peck take this out, give it a bit of a brush down. Again, we're looking for like, we need 8mm of engagement with the set screw, so I go for like 10mm of hole, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. .335. So I wonder what time it is out in the, like on the east coast of America, like California. No, that'd be the west coast, wouldn't it? Yeah, of course it would. On the west coast. I wonder what time it is out there right now. I think Crawler Canyon starts his stream at 12 o'clock California time, Southern California time, and it's 8 o'clock at night here, so 8 hours. So 3 people just be getting up, wouldn't they? Like 8 hours from now. 7, yeah. People just, oh, so I might get some comments. Can't imagine anybody would want to get straight up and come in to see me in the stream, but you never know. Never know. We are gonna crank that down a little bit because we don't want to put any witness marks in. You're loose, that's loose, we've lubed up, let's go. That doesn't look like it's all the way there. So what we'll do, we'll take the belt off and we'll do this last bit by hand. Yeah, we wasn't pinched up quite as tight as I normally do. Yeah, so if it's like 7 o'clock in the morning on that side of America, so I wonder what the time would be like New York. That's like right the other side. New York is west, isn't it? My geography is not good, guys. Like, really, really not good. So I'm wondering what the time is. Alexa, what's the time in New York?
Good afternoon, Dwight. In New York, it's 10:37 a.m.
Yeah, so it's 3 hours different. 4 hours different? 3. 10:37. So there's no New Yorkers watching then? It's all good. It's all good. Oh, don't you fall on the floor and get lost behind you. Yeah, we've had enough of that this morning. Right, so we've got one end done, guys. Let's just give it a quick whirly doofer on the old. We've definitely got a ton of engagement. We've got a ton of thread. I didn't make the rod ends up for these yet. So let's grab a couple out. One, two. We haven't put the hollow balls in them yet, but that's not important until they're finally polished. All these links will be coming apart and getting polished. Like links like jewellery, I think is going to be the tagline or the logo slogan. Is that what they call it? I managed to hold that with my finger all the way down then. That doesn't normally happen. I must be getting stronger or more resilient to pain, one or two. Actually, I've taken a load of painkillers today. So what I might have done is actually hurt myself there, and the painkillers aren't telling me. There we go. Right, have we got deep enough? Dum 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 dum. Doodaloo doodaloo doodoo. Yep, we have. Like when I say these are chonky, these are chonky. This is the guy that your girlfriend says, "Oh, he's just a friend. He's nothing to worry about." Right, I'm just grabbing a set of scales. I won't actually be able to bring this into shot, so you'll have to take my word for it. That front link is 33 grams. 33 grams on a vehicle this weight. That is significant. Like, really, truly, I'm not joking. That is a significant amount of upfront weight. Right, let's pop the belt back on, wiggle our way back in. Get that super tight so it doesn't slip. We're going to put a chamfer on. Again, we want about like a 2 or 3 mil chamfer. I'm going to have to rebed this lathe. I might just bolt it to the actual worktop, guys, in here. Or I might buy a slab. There we go. I'm just eyeballing that. I'm saying it's like a 2 or 3 mil chamfer, and that is very ish. But when they're on the vehicle, nobody's going to know the difference between whether I've gone deep enough or not. And it really isn't. It makes them look nice, but mainly it's there just so that the part has a nice finished edge on it. By the time I've polished it up and everything, they're really nice and smooth. So we're just using a centering bit now, again, just to put a little nice centering hole in the part. We just go down until the angle starts to take chips, which gives us like a little convex shape to the start of where the thread goes. Yeah, that looks lovely. You can't see it, unfortunately. And then we switch that bit out for our 3.5, which is this guy, because we're doing 4 mil carbon steel set screws in here. So we go 3.5 mil, and then we put our 4 mil thread in. So I did exactly what I said I don't do. I don't normally start with a drill bit on. I'll give it a sec to completely center itself. So while it's cutting, you want to just maintain pressure, and you'll feel when you're going in with the drill bit, you'll feel when there's resistance, or the lathe will talk to you. It will let you know, because it will start squeaking and stuff. So we just pulled out. This is called pecking. We just pulled out, got rid of the swarf. And re-lubed our tool before we put it back in. Right. And just pull it out nice and slowly. Sorry about that, the noisy lathe, guys. The bushing on the idler gear at the back needs replacing or swapping out for a bearing. Later on today I will be making some changes to the Hulk. If you haven't seen the Hulk build yet, guys, that thing. So basically building a Capra killer with the Enduro cage on me, a Kinetic 4-wheel steer axles, some really high quality components in, and some cheap stuff as well. In fact, some of the quality stuff that I've used isn't super premium prices either. So it's sort of relatively affordable is subjective, isn't it? But it should be affordable for people to get into that rig. Have I over tightened this while I was talking? No. Oh, I keep doing that. This is the wrong size for this chuck, and I've scoured the internet and I can't find the right size one. So that's why you see me holding it. So we're just gonna make the head safe. It's all locked down. Right, that feels tight. So we're gonna do the last bit of this by hand, and I can't remember how tight this is. So we're just gonna make sure that doesn't slip in the chuck, because if it slips while we're doing this, it leaves gouges in the side of the link. And then if you wanted your links to look beautiful, they're not gonna. Not without a load of polishing, which takes ages. Right, I think, yeah, we're at the bottom of the hole, so we're just gonna back out there. Did I fail to finish a thought then? I kind of feel like I did, but that's gone now. Doobie doobie doo. Right, just put that over there. I think we're done. We do need, these are for a customer, so these do need to be polished, these ones. Give it a quick tap. That first tap and that second tap usually eject most of the swarf in here, because you don't want that in there affecting your the snugness of your threads. We're just going to make sure that bottoms out. It does. Let's take them out of there, because that's an incredibly unsafe way to leave your stuff. I'm not going to polish. Yeah, I am. I'm just going to polish one just in case anybody's interested in my method of polishing. We've done pretty well in not putting witness marks on these. There's a little dink there, but it's pretty good. Oh, and we're polishing. So we have that a safe amount out of the chuck. And we don't need it super duper tight, but we also don't want it slipping. We are grabbing, that is, yeah. Oh, no, that might not be. So we got some 1500. We're just going to do a quick polish with the 1500. And when you're doing this, guys, you don't want to be rubbing up and down like you're polishing your own tool. Just very slowly working your way along. And that depends on what kind of finish you're trying to put on your part. So depending on the type of finish you're trying to put on, you'll move up and down. But we're going for like a mirror finish. And the day these fit your vehicle, they will be the slipperiest they've ever been. Because when they're super polished like this, they are very, very slick. I've only just taken that idler bearing out and lubed it, and it's already screaming at me like an actor on Pornhub. Right, let's get that pinch back in there. Not one person has said hello today. Oh well. I guess this is not for everybody, is it? So again, we're not sliding the paper up and down all the way to the end, and then slowly all the way back down again, making sure we don't get too close to the hugely strong metal spinny parts. Yeah. So we've done our 1500. If you had managed to put a little dink in your part and you were bothered about taking it out, like these are going to get smashed into the rocks, aren't they? I know a lot of people are just going to be like, I don't care. But if you do, 1500 and then Brasso. And there's a number of products you could use to put the polish on, but this is my preferred method. This will get such a good polish on here, you won't believe it. This is going to come out like jewellery. And I know the camera's not going to do it justice, but I'm okay with that. Just grabbing a bit of paper towel that we had ready. So at this point, you're allowed to move the paper to and fro. Can you see that, guys? Really putting a bit of pressure on. She's beautiful. She is B-E-A beautiful. No, I've just gone the wrong way. I've tightened it. No! There we go. Well, let's take her out. You see the difference between the... I can't say that. There we go. Yeah, between the finished end, probably better if I do it like that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that'd be beautiful. Right. And when I take these out of there, I will give them another finishing, hand finishing. Anybody that's married will know all about hand finish. Depending on how long you've been married. If you're just married, you probably don't have to worry about that right now. But it's coming for you, or it's not, I suppose. I appreciate the people that are out there in YouTube land watching, even if you aren't commenting. By the way, if you're just lurking, I appreciate the lurk. Right. That is shiny. I love the way these look when they're first finished. I mean, obviously, unless they're going on a shelf queen, which I would imagine some of these will end up on rigs that never see the rocks. Some of these will be going on to scale rigs that don't do a lot of that stuff. That is a thing of beauty. It really is. Let's get the rod ends on. We'll pop out the original balls from the link that I've got over there, and then someone has got a set of genuine pillow balls, hollow balls, pivot balls, whatever you want to call them, in a set of Chonky Links. Beautiful, guys. Right, let's put that somewhere it's not going to get scratched. Let me grab my shock plier tool. We're just going to pop these out of the originals. Oops. Please don't have gone under the lathe. Right, that can go in the plastic recycling. And if you're ever doing this, guys, you'll have a perfectly finished side, and then a side that looks like it's got a chamfered inlet. I don't know if that's the best way to explain it, but that's the side you want to squeeze it in from, not the other side. If you blow out that other side, which does happen sometimes when you're putting these together, it means the integrity of your rod end is not quite as good as it was the first time. You know, like if you've been going at the missus for half hour, and you have a quick break and then you get back at it, it's not quite as resistant to penetration as it was when you first started. My analogies are terrible. Sorry about that. I've kind of got Asperger's brain, and I was surrounded by filth while I was growing up, and it's kind of who I am. It's part of my personality now. So I do apologise for that. Not everybody wants to listen to my smutty brain trying to explain stuff. Right, we're just giving that a little buff up. Look at that. I guess eventually I'm going to find my people, and you know, they're not going to be offended by my explanations for things. But there you go. That is a perfect facsimile of a link for the UTB18. This is the front one, so she'll be going on there. Well, she won't. This one will be going out to a customer. Beautiful. Right, what's next? He says. Oh, I've got to make the short one. That's what's next. I don't know why I saved that bit. Was I going to use that for it? No. No. We're going to use that. We're going to use the girthy boy. Doobie-doobie-doo. Right, so we want to nibble off enough to make it perfect. I've got these written down because it's easier. If I've got the vehicle here, I'll just remeasure rather than dig the book out. That's right, these are 30. You'd have thought I'd be remembering that by now, wouldn't you? So we want 30 mil. So I'm just going to do this. Trying to think. Yeah, I'm just going to do it the old school way. I don't know how to use Wayne's method that I learned to snip things like this down. 30.07 is pretty close, guys, so we'll go with that. So we make a mark on there. Yeah, that'll do. Let's get it nice and close to the chuck. Give it a nice squish down. I wonder if the Americans find my Cockney accent irritating. I know some people say it's colourful and endearing, but when I used to have a shooting and fishing and hunting channel many years ago, before I stopped doing all that stuff, people used to say it was awful. Oh, I bloody hate this bloke's voice. But I mean, that could have just been people from Peter, or whatever, just hating on me because of what I was doing. Who knows? Who knows? Right. Do. So we're going to go close with a cut-off tool, then we're going to snip it down with something else. I think that's the plan. I wonder if it's quite because people are still recovering from the celebration of the day they kicked our owners out. It always tickles me a little bit that people celebrate the 4th of July like it ownership just changed from the people that own me to the people that own you. I don't know if things got any better really. I suppose from the perspective that money from the United States was coming to England, that part changed, didn't it? But yeah, who knows who really owns things these days? Like the Federal Reserve is a private entity, isn't it? It's not the government that own the Federal Reserve. A bit like the Bank of England. They shorted the pound and took control of the Bank of England a long time ago, during the time of the Battle of Waterloo, I think. So even our national bank isn't owned by the people, it's owned by people who may or may not have nefarious intentions. Like we never really know whether rich people are just like bad. We never know whether they're bad people, do we? Like, that's not conspiracy, is it? I mean, some very, very wealthy people out there pretending to be working for the greater good. Some of these people are wealthy enough that they could make a change if they just helped directly instead of doing all this slightly related good work that they do. I know what I mean. I know what I mean. Like, I remember thinking, oh well, if this person gets into power, all my problems will be over because I had faith in them or whatever. But I just don't. I think like the two-party system. I don't know if that's what you call it in other countries, but like politicians, they. I don't think they're working for us. Robin Williams famously said, I think politicians should wear jackets like NASCAR drivers so we can see who's paid for them. And, Robin Williams, he knew all about it. And I don't think things have changed since he took his life, didn't Robin Williams? Oh, maybe he didn't kill himself. Let's see, now I am getting all conspiratorial. Maybe because he was speaking out about this stuff, they got rid of him. It's possible, isn't it? You know, just saying. So we're just going to try to repeat the angle that we've got the other end there. Actually, before we get too into that, I don't think I've checked the measurement for this. We want 30 mil. I've snipped it down, but I haven't checked it, have I? I have a feeling this is probably like 31 or 32 mil still. Where's me measuring doohickey? Yeah, I mean, was it because Robin Williams was being a bit outspoken about the old situations? Right, that looks like it's about 1 mil more. And if anything, I'd say, yeah, we definitely, right, so we do need to nick a millimetre off this, guys. So I'm glad I thought about it before I went too far. Yeah, politicians, man. In Africa, they call it politic. Their word for it's politics. I think their politicians are a little bit more openly corrupt. Like in this part of the world, it's a little bit more hidden. So we're at 6.5 mil on there, and we want to take a mil off. So we're going to go in by 6 point. We're going to go right round until we get back to 6.5 is what we're going to do. We'll do a few passes. Try not to stress this out. Yeah. So we're just nibbling this down to 30 mil at the moment. Right, if we're going to take a slightly deeper cut, see if we can get away with it. This tool is pretty sharp still, so. I definitely need to remount this again. It's just on an old chopping board, and that's all right. But over a long period of time, I think the change in humidity this time of year has probably meant that it shifted a bit. Right, still has shown for a while there. Looking for about 1.5 mil to 2 mil of chamfer. And I'm not going to take that out and measure it because we use the measuring guides on the wheels to make sure that we've done a good job in the first place. So when you use the dials on these, as long as you're careful, you're going to get almost absolutely bob on within 1/10 of a millimetre or less, which is enough for what we're doing. So just going to use the centering tool to make the first cut. We're just going until we get a little bit of the shoulder of the centering tool engaged. Right, that fan is making me back cold now. Move that up. That might, yeah, that's going to be too much. Let's not have it directed at me. Please let me know if there's any annoying wind noise, guys. Have we missed any chats? Refresh the chat. No. Nobody's talking to me. You got to have thick skin, haven't you, to do this YouTube streaming stuff. Like, I remember when I was doing a bit of game stream stuff, like, I got raided by one of the really big guys. I used to play a game called World of Tanks. In fact, I still play a game called World of Tanks on the internet. And I got raided by one of the big YouTube World of Tanks players. So I'd like hundreds and hundreds of people pop into the stream. And then within a few minutes, all but about 10 of them had left. And it was like, I got raided by like 600 people. And I just went to bits and panicked and said a load of dumb stuff. And that's cut really nicely, that one. And yeah, everybody left. And that was that. And I don't think I ever streamed after that. It just, yeah, it was all a little bit too much for me. I try not to take things personally, but your mind is always trying to find a way for you to feel bad, isn't it? Comparison is the death of joy. Is that the saying? It's something like that, and I get that. I do. I'm like, I see a channel pop up, and I compare my channel to theirs, and then I'm like, well, why are they getting some of the channels? I know some people are paying for subscribers, so you have to bear that in mind. But I shouldn't be like comparing what I'm doing, because I think I put out a reasonably decent video. I try to be as entertaining as I can. Sometimes I go over the top, and sometimes, like comedians, I overstep boundaries sometimes and things like that. Oh, that's tight. She's tight. Right, we're going to do this one by hand, guys. Have I gone in with a... did I use... I bet I've just drilled that. What am I doing? I bet I've just drilled that with a 3.3, not a 3.5. Because she got tight really quickly. Right, you can stay in there. Let's take this out. We're just going to run the 3.5 down. Let's get the caliper out. This is the 3.5. Yeah. Right, if we take a load of material off, we know, don't we? I can't think of any other reason. Do you remember me saying all that cut really? Yeah, we did. We went in with the wrong bit. Yeah, there she is. There's all the mess that we were expecting to see. Oh, it's throwing me now. Didn't expect that to happen. Yeah, whatever that thought was has gone. I know we were talking about... Oh, I've got to stop doing that. We were talking about the comparison being the death of joy. You are not kidding. There we go. Quite pleased for that. There we go. We've made it all the way to the end of the hull. Right, let's get the part out and have a look. Whoever that is out there lurking in the stream, thank you. I appreciate you. I know these link making streams are very similar, so I don't expect them to be for everybody. Do you know what? I bought myself some nitrile black gloves so that I don't get my hands all crappy. I actually went out and drove to a place to buy them, and then I forgot to put them on before I started the stream. Right, we are going to have to add chamfer to one end because I can see clearly now that we need to. So for the steering link, we just use the standard balls that come with these. Rod ends. They're no good for axial positions on vehiculars, but for this, because it doesn't engage any double shear, they're absolutely fine. And they have been matched to the head. They've been matched to the hull, rather. Right. So it's just this is the shallow end. Boom. And if it goes in the shallow end, it should go in the other end, shouldn't it? I've got to make a set of links for Erwin yet from Team Revolt, so they will be happening next. Right, so we just need to put slightly more chamfer on this end. Let's do that right now. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone on the dark roads of pain. Oh, I'm not going to get demonetised, am I? No, not that I'm monetising myself much with the viewership that the channel's getting. You got to find my people, that's what it is. People with a terrible, filthy sense of humour that like fiddling with their tools. Right, let's take them out of there so we don't murder ourselves next time we fire that up. Right, she's good. She's absolutely good. I actually made a little device up. Where's my drill? Where is that? Did I put it over there? So I've actually made, there it is. So this is what you call indie. I've no idea what you call it. So I've got that in there, literally, for polishing these up, so that I'm not using the vice, the lathe for it. But I'll probably be better off with a non-battery version, because as you can hear, we are running out of juice already. Let's go a little bit heavier. We're going to go like 400. We need to take a bit of meat off of this one. Right, and let's go back to the 1500. So all I did was put a really long M4 set screw in a drill. It could do with being in a slightly better. This is a Makita, but it's not. It's in better days. It's quite an old drill. Oh, look at that. She's come up beautiful. Yeah. She's come up absolutely beautiful. So, and then we just use the shock tool to give it a little break, and boom, out she goes. So if you're making loads of round, I better get that on charge. If you're making loads of round bits that need polishing up, that is not a bad. I mean, you can do it in a lathe, but I don't know, it feels a bit of an unnecessary use of the lathe. And because I'm holding really tight on it when I'm, I suppose you're doing that when the lathe's spinning anyway, aren't you? I was just going to say, I don't like to put that sort of load on the lathe, but it's having to deal with that stuff anyway. Oh, these are going to be really nice. It's one of the first set of super chunks that I've made for the UTB18 steering setup. This is really going to enable the guy to get some really low down axle specific weight on his rig. And that's how these go, guys. These ones go like that. So, don't know what, you can probably see it on the front of the UTB18 if I get my hands out of the way. Yeah. So you have one facing like that and one facing sideways. So that's it. You're not going to break them with those M4 carbon steel set screws in there. You are just not, never, not in a million years. You might break your rod end, but you're not. You're just not. You're not going to break them. So where's the other part? There you go. That's your steering. Look at them. I'll whack them on the scales, guys, just in case anybody's interested. The pair is a shade under 50 grams. So if you couple that, let's put the whole set on. Yeah, this whole set weighs 114 grams. 114 grams. That's crazy. That is a ton of low down weight for your UTB18. And, you know, even if I do say so myself, they look incredible, don't they? Like, just beauty. It's a thing of beauty. They're strong, durable, and heavy. That's why you buy Chonky Links. In a nutshell. I'm just trying to think if I need anything else made. I don't want to just be fannying about. So that's the standard link, by the way, guys. You can order these in 6mm, 7mm, which is the standard, and these aesthetically might be the best looking steering links. The Chonkies, which are, let me just grab one. They're 1mm, so it's 1/2 mil extended either side. I wouldn't recommend these necessarily for the lower links, but for the steering links, it's fine. These are 1mm bigger than the rod ends that we use, or of course you can go 6mm, which is the standard length, and that's what I've used for the links on these, and there's 0 transition bump between them, which is ideal for lower links. It doesn't really matter for the steering, but for the lower links, that is what I would recommend. Hopefully there was something useful in the stream, even if it was just the comedy of me cutting that first one for my axial rear. I cut that 30mm too short to begin with. So then went on to make the complete link shaft, only to realise at a later date that it wasn't going to be anything useful. And so then we had to remake that again. But we've got a ton of low down weight now. We've got the standard 6mm links on mine. We're still running the standard 6mm because of the beautiful transition between. I'm looking for angled rod ends that don't have the spannery bits on, that give you this smooth transition in 7mm, because I think that's optimal. And I'd probably go 7mm front, 6mm rear. These are 7mm, and then on the back I've got a 7mm upper and a 6mm lower, just to get the weight tuned exactly how I want it. And we're running the fake Dravtex. There's links to all this stuff in the description, guys, but I'm running the fake Dravtex. You can see them in there. Is that better? They're 65mm fake Dravtex tunes. These have got 25 or 30 weight oil in, and yeah, nice. Running with no springs, so it's in full droop. And this thing, well, you'll see it in a video coming up if you're watching out for that. That is going to be up because we haven't been out with it yet. Hidden in the bowels of Yeti is a Vitavon gearbox. We got the old Vitavon sticker. I went for that super expensive. I'm just trying to, there's no way I can show it to you. There's the Mini 16 mounted in there. You probably can't even see that. Yeah, the Vitavon gearbox is in there, which gives us that awesome low ratio and a ton of strength. So if you're interested in that, watch out for that video. I think that's about it for this one, guys. I am going to sign off and go get myself something to eat. I've not had my lunch yet. What's the time? 4:30. It's nearly dinner time. Thank you for being here with me. And if you've got any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Just wandering over to the PC. Going to click this one off, guys. Thank you very much, and I will see you in another one. Bye for now.